Hey, so in today's video, I want to talk about how to use social media properly because I think there's some decent ways to keep it in your life to a degree. To a degree. Before we get started, though, welcome to my garage. Since we just moved, as I've been saying, it's a bit dirty, a bit all over the place. It's not all set up, but yeah, I was in here anyway, so I decided why not? Because I'm cleaning it up. So figured why not? There's a bunch of there's a bunch of birds. Sorry, I don't know if you can hear the birds, but they're doing their thing. Anyway, that's besides the point. So let's talk about how to use social media properly as a teen specifically. So as a teen, I found the only way to properly use it is to gain a form of education. And I could also see it for community. But that's something I haven't done just yet, so I can't speak on that. Not just yet. But in the way that I'm talking about, the only way that I can the only thing that you can really do is try and mainly focus on following things that will make you smarter and better. Things that will give you ideas. Get in a group, get in a group that's already built, like a community that's already built. Get ideas, inspiration, education from them, and work together. And then, like I said about community, I'd imagine you could grow your own community, kind of like what I'm doing right here, right? Instead of watching YouTube videos and comparing myself and dreaming, I'm here now growing a community, which is a different thing. Which might just be the only two ways to really do it, right? But the first step, I'd say, and this is one that you should take regardless of what your goals are, is get rid of useless stuff and replace it with things that are things that will educate you. Unfollow your meme pages and unfollow that random movie star that you've never even seen a movie they've been in, but you just follow them anyway because they're a big name and your buddies follow them. Recently, I just did that. Very recently, actually. I took time to go through my Instagram and I unfollowed every meme page. I unfollowed all these different actors, except for the ones that were like kind of inspirational and had like a form of knowledge to them. Like take Jim Carrey or The Rock. These are inspirational people, not only because of their movies, but because they're wise and they're fitness people, right? Like that's just two examples, of course, but you can do a lot more. You can do a lot more actors. Just get rid of those useless ones, right? So first thing I recommend as a teen, clear that out because the worst thing, or yeah, let's dive into the bad parts quick. The worst effect of social media is you compare yourself, right? You compare yourself toxically to all these different people who have what you want. They have what you want, but you only see so much, right? You see what they have, which is what you want, but you don't see the struggle they went through. So you compare yourself and you think, yeah, why can't I be like The Rock? Have you been working out for decades? Have you been in multiple movies? Shitty ones first and then the good ones? That's the problem, right? The Rock doesn't go around exactly talking about it as much. So you won't see that. And that's just The Rock, right? There's like a fucking ton of other people. Some of them are worse, some of them are better. But they all do the same thing, which is they talk about what they have now. And that could be intentional or not. You can follow great men who won't always bring up what they were. That's just normal. So the worst way to use social media is to compare yourself and follow things that are useless. Follow your meme pages and follow your fucking random actors and people that don't make sense. It's useless. This is, of course, if you want to keep it. I don't recommend that you keep most of them The only reason I keep Instagram is because that's the only place I know, like, that's the only place I keep in contact with a couple friends and I learn a lot from it, but I limit my time heavily. I did talk about in the previous video that I caught myself kind of spending more time on social media, right? I've eliminated the useless stuff, so my social media use is more educational than anything. Sorry for the cut there. I had we had an inspector come for something. Either way, um, kind of trailed off, but let's try and get back. Oh yeah, okay. So I was talking about the bad effects, right? The bad effects of social media when you use it in an incorrect way, incorrect sense. So yeah, like I said, you just beat yourself up because you don't have what you want, and you see people who do, but you don't see their struggle. You don't see what they went through, right? You don't, and that's also part in due to you haven't learned how to appreciate your journey, right? Because I can look at people like The Rock, and I know I'm not going to be The Rock just yet. That's not my goal. That's not my goal at all. But if my goal is to be fit, and I see someone who's fit the way I want to be, I got to appreciate that journey, and I have to appreciate all the trials and tribulations of that whole thing, instead of comparing myself and saying, why don't I have it instantly? So that's something you have to train your mind to do anyway, because it happens in person, but it's far, far worse on social media because you just see it. It's just served to you. You can't always go to Superstore and see someone with a top-notch physique that you want. You're not going to think about it that much. But you will on social media because that's a big market. So that's about the bad thing. Or there's that, and also addiction. Because that's the mental health aspect, but the addiction aspect is, you watch too many memes, and then your dopamine is so spiked and fucked up that you need to watch your memes at the end of the day or at the beginning of the day, or when things get stressful, you have to watch your memes. So, both ways, it's all mental, but it really fucks you up. And as a teenager, I've noticed that it's like the norm. Sorry. Sorry, I thought my dog got out. But yeah, as a teenager, I noticed it's literally the expected norm. Everyone has it. It's the expected thing. So once you go into like a classroom or something and you don't have it, it's far worse, right? Because now you're the weirdo who doesn't post anything on social media, or doesn't have social media, so you're weird. I didn't have social media until I was 12. Never looked at it, but I was actually introduced to it by a classmate of mine. Yeah, which like I guess it would have happened either way, but still, I always thought Instagram was really really bad, and then I got it that day, and it was the beginning of that journey. But still, as a teen, there are some who take it much harder than others because it's just that way. It's just that way. As I said, once you start something young, it will get engraved in your mind, and once it's in your mind, it's hard to get out. At a young age. Old too, but 10 times worse when you're younger. So, you know, us teenagers have a harder struggle than a 35-year-old adult who got social media and now he's having a bit of trouble, Like, we have it a bit harder than that, I'd say. So, try to at least take the initiative, because there's no other process that can hold your hand through it, right? Recognize the bad things that I said. It's bad for your mental health. It's distracting, useless, time wasting, all these things. Recognize that. Recognize all that, and then do the actionable step, which is to, delete it if you can, time restrict it if you're going to keep it, and if you're also going to keep it, unfollow all your meme pages and all your useless shit, all of it. and then replace it with wise people or role models that you can look at, who you won't shame in your mind. Because you can follow Jordan Peterson, great man, great wisdom, but if you get jealous of his results, like if you're trying to be like him and you get jealous of his results, you either need to unfollow him because it's a toxic mindset, or just figure it out. I recommend figuring it out first. But if you beat yourself up and distract yourself so much, you don't need social media at all. So unfollow him and delete it. I don't even need social media, actually. I keep it for a couple friends. But to be honest, maybe I shouldn't even do that. I don't even know yet. But as a teen, I know that it's far worse, because we just get so it gets in our mind. It's our normal habit. It gets spun into the norm. And then once it's in the norm, you're fucked. You have to do a lot of work to get out of it. So, from a teen to maybe a teen, just to summarize, recognize the problem, recognize all of them, take a step to fix it, and realize that it will take time. Your journey will take long in everything and anything. Including this, it'll take you a while before you get your shit straight on this. So instead of saying, why can't I quit social media right now, this instant, say you're working towards it. Be hard on yourself, but not too hard on yourself. Either way, I hope this helps you so much, because it's such a time waster. It's such a useless thing. If you even spend an hour a day on social media, that's an hour you could be doing fucking push-ups if you wanted to. That could be an hour of you working towards your craft or hobby, your sport, learning, listening to a podcast instead for an hour. Podcasts aren't a waste of time. Give them your full attention. But yeah, I really hope this helps you. That's all. Comment down below whatever it is that you have. Questions, comments, concerns. And yeah, take care, my friend. Hope this helps a lot.